Welcome back. It is 9:20. Most parents know the rules. Don't let your children sit in the front of a car until they are old enough or at a certain height. The back seat is considered the safest, but is it really? There are concerns that putting children in the back seat can risk severe injury and even death from a little known hazard. Michelle Fraser found this out the hard way when her 12-year-old daughter was severely injured in the back seat. She is joining us this morning to tell us her family story and how both she and her husband are now pushing to get some safety laws passed. Good morning to you, Michelle. Thanks so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yours is a hard lesson to learn, but you are trying to turn this around. So tell everybody what happened to you and your daughter and what caused this.
So we were feeding the homeless on Thanksgiving Day, which is our family tradition. Our whole family was in the car. We were in a sedan. We were returning home and we got rear-ended on the highway. And basically the front seat where my husband was sitting fell back rearward into Jay-Fay's headspace. Jaden Faith is our daughter. She connected with the seat and potentially my husband's head as the seat collapsed backwards. And she suffered a 365-degree, basically a fracture all the way around. Her skull lifted up, scooted back. She was dead on the scene. Somehow they revived her, and she suffers from a life-threatening traumatic brain injury.
Oh, what an absolutely horrific story. This happened a while ago, and as I said, you're trying to do something about this, because what exactly is to blame here with that front seat?
Well, we really believe that the way that the seat safety standards are, as they are written right now, which are decades old, they just aren't. The seat is not strong enough to protect the backseat passenger in that kind of situation. So what we're really campaigning for is stronger seat backs, so that they don't deflect rearward, so they don't encroach in the headspace of the children or even just passengers in the back seat can be injured by this. So that's what we're really fighting for, is to upgrade that standard so that it keeps everybody safe. As my husband often says, everybody should have the same right to life in that car. There were 5 of us in the car, 4 of us walked away pretty much unharmed, and 1 person is just trying to get their life back again.
Wow. So absolutely. You've created this Modernizing Seatback Safety Act. What exactly do you want the auto industry to do when you talk about reinforcing that? What is it going to take to make sure this never happens to somebody else?
Well, firstly, let me say there's some amazing legislators who created the act. I don't want to take any credit there, but we are definitely promoting it. And what it will do is really just encourage the car industry to take a look at this and to make that standard better and to make the seats safer. We often say, if they can create, if we have such bright minds in the auto industry that create a self-driving car, they can figure this one out. We're not sure exactly how that will work, but we know it can be done, and we know it can be done for the price of a cup of coffee.
Okay.
So it's really not a big dollar amount. So it's now really the Modernizing Seatback Safety Act is packaged in an infrastructure bill, which came up to vote on Friday, got delayed some, but we're really hopeful that it will get passed. And within 2 years, the auto industry will modernize all these seatbacks so that everybody is safe in a vehicle.
Okay, so within 2 years. In the meantime, your story is so frightening. You're obviously very passionate about trying to make change. What can parents do right now to make sure this doesn't happen to their children in the meantime?
Well, because this is something that we didn't really realize that we were putting our child in danger. As a matter of fact, you said it when we started here. You said we try everything we can to keep our children safe. We put them in 5-point harnesses. We put them in the back seat. And now we know, or at least we learned, that the best place for your child is in the middle, if it's possible. And I know sometimes it's not always possible, but in the way back, if you've got a 3rd row, we just really encourage parents to give your car a second look and kind of look at that space between you and your child. And if there's any way to protect them a little better, it's something to be aware of.
Oh, that's a great tip. Okay, I want to know, first and foremost, how is your daughter doing today and what's her prognosis?
Thank you so much for asking. You know, she gets better all the time. Brain injury is it's a journey and it's a long road, but she heals. The brain does continue to heal, and so we talk a lot more about hope than a prognosis, because the prognosis really varies from person to person. Each person with a brain injury is going to be different. So we just say, you know, our strategy is just to keep going and keep moving forward, and she does every day, and we're really, really proud of her.
Well, what an inspiration you are to do this. And thank you so much for doing this for all the parents in the world. I think this was such an important message this morning, and it's making us all rethink this. And good luck with trying to get that legislation passed. Is there any place you would like people to go to get more information or do a little research on this, or support your cause?
You know, really, you can go to the Center for Auto Safety. They have an amazing website that keeps you really updated on what's going on with legislation, but also just, you know, contacting your legislators in your area, in your districts, in your communities, and saying, we want this. You know, we want you to get behind this Seatback Safety Act and really let your voice be heard.
Well, Michelle, Fraser, thank you for making sure your voice is heard. We appreciate your time. Very
Thank
important
you.
work you're doing. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Okay.